Question number 10. A company sells concrete in batches of 5 cubic yards. The probability distribution of X, the number of cubic yards sold in a single order for concrete from this company, is shown in the table below. Remember, in your probability distributions, everything adds to 1. So you might want to always double check those and make sure that's the case. The expected value of the probability distribution is 19.25, and the standard deviation is 5.76. There is a fixed cost to deliver the concrete. The profit Y in dollars for a particular order can be described as Y equals 75 times X minus 100. What is the standard deviation of Y? Well, first of all, let me explain where that expected value and standard deviation comes. I can show you too, even how to get those numbers fairly simply. In your main list, L1, put those 5 values. In your secondary list, L2, put your probabilities. Pause the video if you need to. All right, hopefully you've got those values entered in. Now you can go to stat, one variable stats, stat calc 1. You want to make sure your frequency list is L2. You want to account for the probabilities. So you can hit second 2 on that to hit those up. Got it? Now hit calculate. Your mean, 19.25, is your expected value. Your standard deviation, 5.76, is right there. So you can get those using your stat menu if you wanted to. So now let's talk about this, this question. The profit Y in dollars for a particular order can be described by Y equals 75X minus 100. What is the standard deviation of Y? Well, I want you to think about what operations affect the spread. Does multiplication affect the spread? Does subtraction affect the spread? Which ones work? All right, pause the video and see if you can figure out which one is going to be the answer. All right, hopefully you paused the video. Here's my more detailed solution. The answer is B. The only thing that affects spread is multiplication. Multiplication affects spread. Adding or subtracting doesn't change how spread out a distribution is, okay? If you shift everything to the right or the left, it's not going to change how wide something is. So we don't want to add or subtract. We only want to do the multiplication. So we'll do the 75. We'll plug in our standard deviation, 5.76 for X. But that's it, all right? Don't do the minus 100. Now I can prove to you on your stat menu. You remember I had these numbers in my stat menu. Watch this. And you can do this with me too. If you go to the top of L3 and you put in this function, 75, but instead of putting X, put 75 parentheses L1. And do the minus 100. That's going to take all of your L1s, multiply them by 75, and subtract 100. 100 times 75, or 10 times 75 is 750, minus 100 is 650, and likewise for the other 5 numbers. Now watch this. If I use my stat menu and get the one variable stats, but this time I use L3 as my main stat menu, because that's what my transformed one was. But I'm going to keep L2 because it has the probabilities. Watch this. There's my mean, and there's my standard deviation, 432. So you can see right there that that standard deviation was only times 75. It was not subtracted 100, so it's not going to be 332 like you might have thought it was. Furthermore, the mean both will take multiplication and subtraction. So if you took this 1925 and plugged it in here, you would have to subtract the 100 too. Watch this. Our mean here is 1343.75. I'm going to write that down. So if I plugged in 75 times 19.25 and I subtracted 100, I should get that. Let's see what we get. So with means, you want to make sure you do both multiplication and subtraction. But with standard deviations, Just times. No subtraction. No addition. No subtraction, no addition. Does not affect the spread. All right, next question will be 11.